Okay, this video will be troubleshooting a Rochester Monojet carburetor. Um, when they were new, the Monojet and Dualjet, Quadrajets were all great carburetors. 50 years later, they're often worn at the throttle, and that turns into major vacuum leaks, and so they need to be you have to do bushing kits on them, or else you'll have major vacuum leaks. They'll never run right. Anyways, the problem with this, I rebuilt it a couple years ago. I didn't drive it much because of various health problems and other issues. But now that I'm back to it, the problem has been that I have to use starter fluid. At first I thought maybe it was a choke, and it is missing a choke rod here. Both my parts carburetors did not have it either. I guess a lot of people here pull them off. I put the original thermostat choke for the 1970. I couldn't find that specific thermostatic coil for the choke, and so I converted it back to the original manual choke, which I screwed a bracket into here, and so that I could adjust it with a manual cable. The problem turns out to be, I looked down the throttle here, and it was not squirting gas down the throttle when you stepped on the gas, and so of course it won't start unless you added gas or starter fluid. So I must have messed up the accelerator pump assembly, or I perhaps didn't get the passageway cleaned out enough. So we'll do a test next. For this test, I opened up the top. I did this a couple days ago too, that's why most of the screws were off the top already. I topped off the fuel bowl to make sure there's gas in there to squirt out. The accelerator pump is actually right there, and when the pump is pushed, or when the throttle is pushed, it pushes the pump down and squirts oil down the throttle, or basically it's a venturi tube there. Okay, now I will try to squirt the fuel in, and you might be able to see no fuel's coming out when I squirt it. If the accelerator pump was working right, there'd be a discernible squirt of fuel coming down. And when I move that, you can see there's no fuel on the rag underneath. So there's something definitely wrong with this, and that's why it is not starting unless I spray starter fluid down the carburetor or pour a little gas down there. In order to access the accelerator pump down there, I need to get this off. To do that, I have to unscrew this so that I could get that rod off the bottom of that flat bar. Then I could pull the flat bar straight up and access the fuel pump. So there it goes. I don't remember where the notch is, but the notch has to line up on the end of the bar. Okay, so I finally got that notch off, and now I can pull this up, put it over here too, and pull this out. I found that the circuit for the passageway for the gas is supposed to come through here through a little ball bearing on a string held in place by this. So if I want to see if that passageway is clogged, I need to take this out. Ball bearing and the spring and the T-keeper thing out, and now I can check to see if I spray down here or even down here, if it'll come out here or if it'll come out the other location. So here goes the test with carb spray. I'll spray it down here first. It bubbles up in the accelerator pump well, but not very fast. So there might be some obstruction. And you can see that does not come out here. So that's probably the main problem. It's blocked. So it looks like I might need to take this apart and let it soak and try to blow this out. Okay, so it's been about almost a week. I had a cold or something. It didn't come out due to breathing problems. So it soaked longer than it did the first time I worked on this carburetor a couple years ago. Hopefully that was long enough to break up the deposits that were blocking the fuel flow for the accelerator pump. And so now I just need to spray it down to get all this solvent off, and that's why it's in a metal pan. And then I'll test whether the gunk is still in there by spraying the carburetor spray down this hole and see if it sprays back out where the accelerator pump is supposed to go. The first time I tried this, it just bubbled, and that's not good enough. Okay, so I've tried spraying down here, and it comes out down there, but it's swirly. It's not a solid spray, but it seems like it's constricted or restricted. For comparison, I sprayed down where the jet and metering rod is, and it comes out in a solid spray. It's not great, but it works out here. So you can see these passages are tiny. Usually using a bottle brush will not be helpful, but possibly this one might work because it's a shorter passageway than obviously from here to here for the metering rod and jet. You can see it comes out now better than it did before, but it's not a good spray. In comparison, if I put this down here, you can see it sprays out here. So this is in better condition, although it's slightly restricted too. So what we're going to try is a bottle brush. I don't have much hope for it working down this way. Oh. I don't have much hope for it going very far. It's actually working better than I expected. That's what it looks like. So there was a bend in there too. And I will try here and see how well it works. So it's not flexible enough to take the tight turn into the where the pump well is, but we'll see if it works at all. Maybe if I go, yeah, I can't get it in there, so let's see if this worked. and 90 degree, or else the spray ball doesn't. So you can see it's still not great. I'm probably going to have to soak this for overnight again in comparison there. So I'm probably going to have to soak it overnight again. Hopefully the having it partly cleaned off, or cleaning off the top surface of gunk, will help. And the hole that the accelerator pump comes out is actually right there. So if I spray this, you'll see it comes out right down into there. And so that part's okay. This main body has been soaking again for another night or two, and it seems to have cleared up a little bit more. There it goes. So I got the straw into the passageway at the bottom of where the ball goes, and when I spray it, you can see there's gas coming out now, whereas before it didn't. It seems to be swirling around in there, but this is still a big improvement over what it was before.